That sounds fun.
Okay.
I'm here for the fun. This morning we decided, well, Scotty actually decided, I'm just an accomplice, that we're just going to drive to a coffee shop and that's where the pod's going to happen. Is it because it was cold outside? Maybe.
No.
I'm like, maybe. I roll the windows down.
Yeah.
It is pretty hot in here, though.
It is warm. And it's actually kind of warm outside once you get going.
No.
Look at these two ladies across the street.
I think you were just stressed out. I realized lately I've been, like, really trying to dial in my health.
Okay.
I just, like, want to feel really good. Also, whenever I go off on little 2-week benders, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel very good anymore.
I think we need to clarify what a 2-week bender is for you, because it's not an
alcoholic bender. It's a food bender.
Yeah.
They should know that, you know? Jordan hasn't drank in a long time. I haven't had one drink since my brother's wedding in September. It is December.
Good for you.
It's not bad.
Oh, I wish I could say the same.
You're not far off.
I'm really not.
You're just like one extravagant outing away.
I had one extreme outcome. Yeah, that's a once in a
When I went
decade.
to California, my roommates who don't ever drink alcohol, Kiki in specific, both got hammered. So I don't know.
I didn't do it here though, so
I think they were just masking their feelings of me being gone.
Well, no, because I did it when you were back.
Oh, fast. You went back to California.
I left again. I literally had to get away from you.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
You've seen too much of me. Kiki hasn't seen enough of me.
Exactly. Man.
But no, I just think like lately, I've just been on my health. Like, I don't know. I just every day wake up and I'm like, what can I do to feel better today?
I'm kind of like into that whole experimentation phase too, where it's like I just want to see
with like hallucinogenic drugs.
Exactly. Like, yeah, I was gonna say meth, but then I was like, yeah, probably not.
God.
But no, I was thinking that the other day. I was like, there's got to be things because there's always really healthy things in the world that are actually not good for some people.
Mm-hmm.
And like for myself, like I've realized, like, because I eat a lot of vegetables, you know that.
You live off, you're like a vegan who eats a lot of meat.
Yeah, exactly.
Just,
it's a weird combination. Yeah.
I'm going.
But,
put me in.
Like the last 5 days that I've been in California, literally haven't had like any vegetables.
Okay.
I feel amazing.
Oh, dude. I can just smell the liver in you right now.
Dude, I'm thinking about ditching veggies and just going
You sound so primal right now.
I know. I feel in control more than anything. And
of course.
I feel in control.
Which is why you did it.
Exactly. And so I think I'm going to at least cut back on the veggies and up the meats.
Back veggies, up meats.
Yep.
I think what happened was there's this scale, right?
Okay.
Like it's a teeter-totter.
Yes.
And you were teetering too far into veganism.
I think that's it.
And
God was like, stop this.
Yeah, and you need to teeter back into the world of primal living.
And I might just go full send because we're going to dinner tomorrow night, and I was looking at the menu last night. They have a 25-ounce ribeye.
Bone in?
No.
They just serve a 25-ounce.
I don't know how they do it.
That's like a pound. That's like almost 2 pounds.
I know. I might just do that.
I think you should.
I think I might.
That sounds primal.
It sounds enjoyable.
Also, there's another primal way of life now that got added to one of the pillars.
Oh, God.
Which
What
is
happened?
Steroid usage.
This is true.
You could just... If you want to be primal, you just
inject,
take some steroids.
Yeah, just throw something in there.
I mean, it's not that it got added recently. It's always been added. But it's now one of the official pillars.
It has always been a pillar. It's
Yes.
just one of those pillars that's kind of behind the other pillars.
It was a low-key pillar.
Yeah.
But now it's public.
Yeah, it's a very undervalued pillar,
We're talking about Liver King, by the way,
Liver
for those
King.
who saw Liver King's. Oh my God, no way, he's on steroids. What? Who knew that? No way.
I always had a feeling about him.
I had an itch.
Maybe he was using something.
It was either steroids or some sort of biological lab.
Like the guy has a strong resemblance to a rhinoceros. I don't think he might not be on anything, but there's a small chance.
I know a lot of humans that eat very similarly to him.
Yeah,
and they work out similar amounts.
When I wake up,
don't look like him.
When I wake up, I've been seeing a lot of value of waking up super early, getting some sun, and eating a testicle.
Facts.
And
I still don't look like Liver King.
I still don't look like him now. I just feel sick.
I feel like when Liver King came out, and first of all, there was always the people who were like, he could be natural, and those people are already stupid. And then it came out that he was obviously on steroids, and people are like, well, I had no idea.
Yeah.
And then they're still stupid. It's like, I ain't even a fitness influencer, and I have the common knowledge to realize that is physically impossible.
That's kind of what's sad too, is that like he like attracted like an audience of like older men who just like wanted to like feel better and look good and stuff like that, and he probably like everybody had like the wool pulled over their eyes, like these guys who didn't understand anything, and like now that they're kind of sitting around like, I mean, could he kind of be like, please?
Oh my God.
Like he gave them hope, and now they have no hope.
I'll say though that like, even if you got into Liver King
Mm-hmm.
and you started eating liver or taking liver supplements and eating more meat-based diet, I mean, you're still probably better off. So,
I mean, there's a lot of, like we talk about, there's a lot of stuff that he did really well,
Yeah.
did like right. But there's some stuff it was just like.
but like we always talk about, like, there's always like there's no diet right for somebody, right? No way of living right. So there was probably some people who followed him whose bodies react terribly to meat.
Oh yeah.
And they're just sitting there suffering like, when am I gonna reap the benefits?
Yeah.
I
Their
feel
cholesterol
terrible.
levels just went through the roof. They're
Yeah.
just like, yeah.
Which happens, I guess.
That'd be so bad. I feel bad for people. I just think you need to like figure out your own life.
Dude, I just say just eat a lot of meat and protein and good vegetables and then good fruits.
That's
and
what
then
I'm
just
saying.
call it a day. And whatever you don't feel good eating, just don't eat
don't
it
eat that,
anymore.
yeah.
And then drink a ton of coffee. That's not really a part of the diet. That's just for your happiness and
Yep.
cortisol levels.
Yep.
Have you seen those new electric Amazon delivery trucks?
Electric Amazon delivery
Yeah.
trucks. I have maybe.
They're so cool.
What are they
I don't know why I think they're cool. They're just like futuristic. They're like the regular Amazon delivery vans, but cooler.
Oh, but it's got the little spinny thing on top. Is that it?
No, they're just like electric. You just tell from the back end. It says something about them being like an what are they called? An Amazon sustainable vehicle or some bullshit. I don't know.
I'm not.
Anyone who's into sustainability is like, hey, why do you say it like that?
Yeah, it's sustainable.
It's
It's
what do you mean?
sustainable.
Why are they air quotes?
Yeah, sustainable.
I'm sorry for my behavior.
What are you sustaining?
That was unprecedented. Honestly, we still get to watch the sunrise right now,
That's what I'm saying. I'm kind of.
and it's beautiful.
I'm blessed.
No, you're not lucky. You're blessed.
Blessed.
Yes.
Yes.
Clap for the heavyweight champ,
Yes.
me. All right, Sky, I'm going to give you some topics, dude.
Give me
Because
some topics.
normally in the car I don't want to talk to you, so today we're going to obviously have to push.
Forced conversation.
Yeah. Find something on this list that we have not talked about, and we will talk about it. Oh my god, I don't know if I could do the pod without coffee, man.
It's a little difficult.
It was a 50% no coffee pod, 50% coffee pod.
Talk to me about raising a family.
Raising canes.
No,
Oh,
a family.
a family. Fuck.
Raise
got
a
me
family.
on.
Raise a family with me.
I would like to raise a cane.
I'd like to raise a family. at
I
some
think
point.
with that concept, we did dabble in it one episode. I think one of the big topics of that I wanted to talk about was like the lack of perspective as a parent, parenting based upon like as if they'd never been a kid before. But honestly, I guess, listen, dude, I can always talk because I don't shut the fuck up. For me, like, the ultimate goal in life is, like, starting a family.
Okay.
Like, when I was born, and I was a young buck, and I had a family, I was like, I'd love to have a family.
When you had a family?
Yeah, I had
When I had a family.
when I realized I had a family. I was like, whoa, these people like me.
Gotcha.
They take care of me, and they wipe my ass when I decide to make a doo-doo.
When I'm
You know what I
19
mean?
years old.
No, I was like 30. No, I'm just kidding. And then I kind of caught on. I'm like, you know what? These people here on this big old circle with me, that's what we do. We replicate. We clone ourselves in a little, sometimes uglier, sometimes better looking versions, and then we wipe their ass.
You
I was
just
like, we should
pray-
do that.
You just pray that they look decent.
And so as I got older, being a normal human being, I was like, I would love to start a family one day. So most of my decisions I make in life are precedented on that idea. But I feel like in our culture these days, people just don't want that. So many people are like, I don't want a family. I don't want to get married. I don't want kids. I'm like, huh. Would you look at that?
Yeah.
And now we got like, and I'm not complaining about it. I just think it's obviously, it doesn't really affect me that much, but like, I just think that's so crazy that times have like changed to that.
I don't even think it's like. It's not even shocking with like the amount of like divorce and all of that stuff that goes on where you almost just don't want to go through it again. And so I think that's the biggest piece, is just people don't want to go through that themselves. And so they've seen it, they grew up in it. It's painful,
I see what
you
you're
know
saying. I thought you meant people who got divorced.
No,
and I was
no,
going to say
no.
they probably could have. There's a good chance they already started a family.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about people that grew up
because our generation,
yes,
parents started, couldn't fucking figure it out.
Yeah.
No, I'm
basically
kidding. Which is that's a very good point.
You know, and I think it's just you see it growing up, or you see it around you, and you're kind of like, because I literally have had this conversation with people before, and they all kind of say the same thing. They're like, well, I just don't see a purpose in like rolling the dice on somebody taking all my shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you find the right person, and like, that's a very hard one to say too, because it's like when you're in the moment, it feels like the right person.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think anybody's ever been like, well, I'm sure there have been people, but like shotgun wedding, like,
I'm gonna propose to the wrong person.
I like this guy. I've known him for a day.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope he proposes to me. Like, it's like, I don't think that's a real thing. And if you're a girl and you do that, you're stupid.
I do think the problem in our culture, though, is, like, I do think it's a cultural issue of why marriage isn't working. Like, I think it stems from the baseline of how people behave on a day-to-day and how, like, people, I mean, there's such a culture for treating people poorly. Like, there's such a culture, like, there's no culture for proper communication. Everyone's so opinionated. No, like, it's like, I'm not saying our culture sets you up for failure, but the blueprint for a healthy relationship right now is so blurred.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then again, like you said, like, because our parents' generation also struggled with that. It's like there was no blueprint giving to us at a young age, and if there was, a lot of times it was fucked. So our idea of a healthy marriage or a healthy relationship is already skewed from the get-go. And then now you have, like, I feel like it's a more newer culture of people not wanting to settle down and not wanting to commit to one person. And so you've got people, like, dating multiple people. And it's like, I'm not saying it's like a platonic. What's the opposite of monogamous? What is it, platonic?
That's platonic.
It's like all these people who want it, like, platonic relationships. And listen, I'm not saying those don't work somewhere out there in the world. I just would guess they probably work a little less.
See, I'm trying to, like, look around now and be like, what was the deciding factor when our grandparents were, like, together? Because, like, divorce wasn't really I'm not gonna say because I don't know, but I don't think divorce was that big of a thing when our grandparents were all getting married.
I don't think so either.
And so it's like, what was the deciding factor? And I think, like, you look at it as there was two people with, like, their own separate lives that went out and, like, or, like, the dad, like, good old dad went out and, like, did work all day, and mom took care of the kids, and then dad came home.
The very traditional
relationship. And now I feel like it's almost like they're too involved, I guess, and so they're around each other too much, and they just butt heads, and then there's a problem, and then that problem escalates, and I feel like maybe the separation of people is what kept people together, because you were always missing each other.
Yeah, but I feel like now, I don't know if we can generalize that, because I think if you, I'm sure if you, I mean, you look at our world, right, it's like majority based in, like, traditional work anyway. Mm-hmm. I don't know if the relationship roles are similar, but I'd assume if some father is working a 9 to 5, there's a good chance his wife's at home with the kids.
Maybe.
I'd say, like, obviously that's definitely been skewed the past decade, but, like, 2 decades. God, we're old. I would maybe more so go the route of, like, our generation. We just shit on our generation. Our generation likes the easy route. Our generation doesn't want to do hard work. Our generation bails when things get hard. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I've spoken to a lot of elderly with my bingo meetings every weekly. You know what I mean? I don't even know what I'm saying. I need coffee now. That sentence just bothered me. From a cognitive standpoint, of course.
What's going to be really funny is, like, we can see the difference in our conversations going here and then coming home.
I know. But I've spoken to grandparents, and it's like, for them, it was like, you make it work. Like, this is, like, no one expects a relationship to be easy.
Yeah.
No one expected anything to be easy back then. And so there was a lot more grit that went into, and a relationship is work. A relationship takes work. Obviously, the amount of work it's going to take is going to be based upon your ability to communicate and blah blah blah. But
Well, I think
these days,
I think it just takes a lot of work. Like you can't go into it thinking like, oh, my relationship's gonna be great and there's not gonna take anything.
Yeah.
It's like, no, like go into it expecting the worst. Like, and I mean that in like a good way. Like the craziest amount of work.
yeah,
Go into it with that knowledge, and if it falls anywhere underneath that, great. But you need to put in some work. Like relationships are it's a big deal.
it's the same exact concept, right? Why are relationships one of the most valued things in the world? Because it's on the other side of work.
Yeah.
Anything that is amazing takes a ton of work, and that's just the truth. Like there's no exceptions to that rule. That guy's mobbing. That thing sounds really delightful. Guys, we get to like car spot while we're AK Jordan gets distracted. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any of these answers. These are all just hypothetical theories of why relationships don't work the way they used to. Or maybe we just have a very skewed idea of what relationships used to be like because we're only basing it off of our grandparents. And like a majority of people, I feel like our age who have grandparents, they're just still together, low-key.
Fact.
And so they're like the outliers that made it.
I guess so.
I know the divorce rate has skyrocketed in the past half century, so obviously that statistic is true. I'm just saying why that is, I don't know. I think that's crazy that like our population has been decreasing.
What do you mean?
Like for the first time ever, our population is like in decline. I believe.
Is it?
Like no one's having kids anymore.
Oh, I thought you meant people like dying off. Like
No.
okay.
People just know like we're having way less kids than people are dying.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
I mean,
No one wants to talk about that.
no, but I also kind of think that maybe there's a little bit of maturity in that, where it's like a lot of people are like, I just don't think I would be a good parent. Which I would rather you do that than have a kid and not care about them, because that's another story.
See, but I agree with you on that really micro concept, but on the macro of like, again, I'm no scientist, but from a lot of the stuff I've read, that is like the most detrimental thing to our globe is underpopulation. Underpopulation's like the first step towards extinction, from what I've read.
I don't know.
Like literal, because you get to a point where then there's no reverse. There's no going back. There's no fixing it. We're not going to force people to have kids.
I think that's way off. I think it's like way off in the future. I don't think it's like
No, it's nothing. By no means, it's nothing for us to worry about. I just think it's a crazy concept that we're actually like more people are dying than are being brought on this planet. I mean, there's a lot of idiots in the
I was
world.
gonna say, yeah, there's quite a few things going on right now.
No, I don't know. I like science. Science intrigues me, and philosophy.
I'm just trying to think, like, if that started happening and like we did tip that way, what's the first course of action to correct that, if you can correct it?
I encourage people to have children.
Yeah, I guess
Which
so.
is not going to happen in our generation. Ain't
I
no
don't-
one having a kid. Which, what in my mind, would include like government incentives to having children, which would just be so detrimental to the economy and it would be a shit show. Right? Because people aren't just going to have kids.
Yeah.
People are going to require support. They're like, I'll have a kid, but you guys got to pay me to have a kid.
Which is kind of sad when you think about it.
Yeah. On like so many levels.
Yeah.
I need coffee.
Okay.
Why is Susie going so fast? She needs to calm down.
Christina, stop.
Now that we have coffee, my brain can function. I've had a couple sips. I'm ready to go.
Sipsies.
As an influencer, what happened to you?
You kind of gunned it, and it was like, oh, there's got like one little drip came out
It's alright, dude.
and landed right on my belly button.
If you think about it, a lot of companies would probably put some sort of brown stain on their clothes for a fashion sense. So,
You're not wrong.
like that's like a golden goose. I just turned your. Where's that shirt from? Cuts. Looks like a Cuts shirt.
Which one?
The one you're wearing.
Yes.
I just turned your Cuts shirt into like a golden goose shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd still rather wear cuts.
And I feel like as an influencer, I've been asked the question by people who are skeptical or just anybody of like, what do you do if social media fails?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say, what do you, like when people just ask, what do you do?
Oh,
I just say I create content, and I just hope they don't ask what that means.
I don't know what I say. I just am a YouTuber.
I just say I create content, and they're like, in what space? I'm like, well, I do like a lot of like Instagram and like, you know, branding and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, and then I'll just keep like breaking it down, and then I just keep like figuring out what things. I don't think there's much to break down. Anyway, go back to your thing. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just, you've got me invested in your story. I mean, for you, I think content creation is perfect. Like,
That's what I'm saying. I
create content. You
For
create
brands.
content that's entertainment and for brands.
Mhm.
Oh, that sounds easy.
Well, what's hard is like, because that's what I'm saying, is like, that's what I say, but then people want broken down even more. I'm like,
Well, if they can't figure it out from there, then they should not be asking all those questions.
I'm like, you know what? Here's my card. It's got my social media on it. Look at it.
You have a card? Like a physical one?
No. I lied. That was kind of, I thought it was cool.
It sounded cool. If you had one, it would have been cool.
I met a guy the other day who had like one of those cards where like you touch it to somebody's phone and automatically all their info's in your phone.
Yeah, I didn't. I've been
know those are
living,
real?
I'm still in 2021.
Dude, did you know the thing's a real thing?
No.
It's this little metal card, and he had it in his wallet. And I was like, yeah, let me get your information. He's like, yeah, definitely. And he pulls his card out. I thought he was going to pull his phone out. And I was like, what's this? And he goes, watch. And he's like, tapped to the back of my phone, and all of a sudden his profile popped up on my phone with like all of his social media, all of his numbers, his email, everything, like a picture of him.
I'm going to need to know the tech behind that because that doesn't make any logical sense.
It was ridiculous. And I was like, that is pretty cool.
He tapped my head with his card, and in my brain was all his information.
He punched me in the face, and everything went black, and all I could see was him.
He installed some sort of microchip in my skull, and I was like, whoa, what the fuck? How do I know all this information about the world?
And now I black out every 20 minutes.
I think his
but
name
it's
was Elon or something.
Elon. Yeah.
Elon.
Elon Musk.
Elon.
That's a weird place for a balloon over there.
But no, I get. We have ADHD.
ADHD.
I get the question a lot. I'm sure you have before of like, what if social media fails?
Ah.
Which I think is a very stupid question.
Yep.
But for the sake of today's pod, let's dive into it.
Scenarios.
Like, what do we do if social media fails?
Yeah. You want to start?
No. You go.
Are you talking in a sense of like this is our job? And
No,
it's
like social media
as in
is
general.
no longer.
It's just not a thing.
Yeah.
I think it'd be great.
You think so?
I do, because I think it would be great in a sense of it would make people a lot more alert, a lot more aware, a lot more creative, a lot more, in a sense of not always buried and invested in everybody else's life.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a good time for everybody to kind of go introspective and figure themselves out, because I think that's what's missing a lot of the time, especially like when I meet new people who want to get into the spaces. They don't know where they want to be because they see what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
And they just haven't spent enough time figuring out what they want to do.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be a huge benefit to it.
I mean more so in the sense of like, what do you in specific do?
Oh, specific. Fucking.
What does Scotty do?
Well, that's the
Social
thing is
media.
that's why I asked. Is like if social media is my job, so it's like
Yeah.
if it's gone, then I just double down on my other business. Like that's really
You go
it.
back to your previous
I would just,
business.
well, not even go back. I mean, I'm still doing like consulting and stuff like that now. So it'd just be like, just double down on consulting and like business development and growth, and then like product development and scale. And so I think that's where I'd go, is just put all my it would be great because I'd be more creative
Oh yeah.
than I already am. And I love to give myself that credit because I love being creative. And so, yeah, I would just double down on my creativity and just like probably do a lot better than I'm doing now,
I
honestly.
think a lot of businesses would fail.
I think they would. I think
A lot of businesses that run strictly off social media as
I think
far
the
as like
ones-
marketing goes.
Yeah, I think the ones that can adapt would win. The ones that couldn't would fail. And that's just with anything. Like you have to be able to adapt and you have to be able to like pivot. And I think the greatest businesses do that very well. And that's just where I would see it going, is you have to be moldable to like what you can control and what you can't control. And if that's just if it just ended, it's like, all right, who's gonna take over?
I wonder what would happen to like the most prime user face age demographic of social media, like the 11 to 15. Like I feel like they would go insane for a month.
I feel like they go
And
insane for a month,
act
but then,
out and like
yeah.
I don't know, I just can't imagine, like they're so hooked on it
Mm-hmm.
that like if they were forced out, like they're not old enough to go start their own, so like they don't have the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean there's someone out there, but no 14-year-old's gonna start their own. And also you can't, like in this hypothetical, it's like there's no one's creating a social media.
Yeah.
Because in reality, if social media, that's why social media will never fail. Social media is
Just somebody making the next
the
platform.
real estate of owning a social media platform is none.
Yeah.
Meaning, if, let's say tomorrow Instagram failed, there'd be a new platform launched in the week.
Probably.
And there'd be 100 of them. Platforms that people have probably had on the back burner that they cannot launch because Instagram will destroy them.
Or buy them out.
But I mean, that's not a reason not to drop it. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that would love to get bought out.
Well, that's the thing is, I feel like I do know a coffee bar. That's the place you were talking about, I think.
What's it called?
It's called Coffee Bar.
No.
No? Oh, okay. But it's also Dogtown Coffee's right there too, or Doghouse Coffee. But no, like I feel like there's so many things, because that's one thing that I kind of see as not sad, but not like also like I wish it would happen more. Is there's so many people out there who have these great ideas and they build these things, and you know, I feel like there's people who are kind of watching for those kind of platforms to kind of start to bubble up, like the big conglomerates, and have people like watching for it, so that right when it kind of like starts to take a little bit of light, they buy it out and they shut it down. You know, because I've had multiple friends who have had like, and this happens a ton, multiple friends who have started like agencies or started little things and like, you know, scaled them and like really good in tech and like, you know, that kind of stuff, and they build up these things and they've shown it to me and I'm like, dude, this is gonna be the next thing. And then all of a sudden they're rich. And I'm like, what happened? And they're like, I can't talk about it, but we got bought out.
Yeah.
And you just know, like, who's buying them out.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, like, and the sad part is I'm like, so what are they going to do with it? And he's like, they literally take it and they destroy it.
It's a threat,
Yeah, they destroy it. And it was
there are a lot of times where they integrate it into their system.
Yeah.
Right? Like Instagram will buy a lot of Facebook will buy a lot of features and companies and like widgets and little smaller apps that they can then integrate into their software.
How crazy is it, the amount of money you can make in tech, though?
It's disgusting.
In general.
It's
dude,
because
like,
you're providing a service on such a macro level.
Exactly. And like you look at like tech and where it's come from, like for instance, like one of my mentors that I talk about all the time, he's a private pilot, but he's a private pilot or he owns his own private pilot like thing. He used to be a private pilot, but he literally used to fly the guy who did the software and the coding for every ATM machine.
Yeah, he told me that.
How freaking insane is that? Think about every ATM machine has his technology in it.
I know.
Think about that.
Oh.
Around the world.
And you look at the ATMs and your first like surface level thought is like, imagine the guy who created the ATM. So, no, imagine the guy who runs the software.
Exactly. It's nuts, dude.
I think who was that guy? Who was that guy that created like, I don't know if they were like some sort of emojis or like something. It was like this little company that got bought out by like Facebook for like $500 million or some shit.
I know you're talking about.
You what?
I know you're talking about.
I just can't remember what they were. Were they like those little? They weren't emojis, but they were similar. It was a form of like text communication, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I remember they bought them. Or, oh no, it was. Oh my god, I'm so close to it.
Bitmoji?
No. Bitmoji got bought. Didn't they get bought by Snap for like a billion dollars?
Yep.
That's even a better example, honestly.
You want to know a very like relevant right now example is the AI.
Oh, I know.
Pictures.
Something just got released like 6 days ago. Like the I don't know if like a AI company something happened. I don't know. Hormozy was talking about it. That was like a big breakthrough in the AI because whatever, I don't know. I can't even articulate it because I don't remember what it was, but it was very interesting. AI is definitely we had like a big week for AI, especially with
the
that.
Lensa.
Yeah. But it wasn't just that, like something else happened.
Oh, I know, but I mean, like Lensa is what kind of like is bringing everybody's attention to AI because like that was one of the things that it hit me the other day on my flight. Is there was like a little girl sitting next to me trying to explain what AI was to her mom.
What?
Like understanding why these pictures are so weird and why it's such a crazy thing. And I was like listening to it, and then I was like walking through the airport, and everywhere I was standing, wherever you looked, somebody had that app open.
It was that much?
It was that much in LAX. Like somebody had it open, was doing it.
Damn.
And I was like, this is just becoming it's a cult. Like it's crazy. Like it's not a cult, but it's like
think about of our creator friends, how many of them have posted it?
I know.
Think about how much each of their reach is in total, plus all their creator friends and all their creator friends, and then it's like.
And then think about how small my channel is and how nobody cared what mine did.
No, I don't know, man. AI just fucking scares me. I don't even think of that stuff.
Like the movie the other night in the preview,
Yeah.
That one looks scary.
I mean,
Dude, when are we gonna, like,
it's
robots
called artificial intelligence.
I
Like,
know.
what about that sounds promising?
Yeah.
Like, let's weigh out the risk to reward here. No.
Anything that's
Doesn't work.
artificial that you're ingesting or putting in your mind or putting into the world.
Okay, but artificial anything is just bad, sure.
Yeah.
Artificial, the one thing
Yeah.
we should have never
That you
ever
cannot
tried to make
control.
artificial is intelligence.
Yeah. Dude, that's like, because then, like, the one thing that's scary about, like, when you think about intelligence is intelligence keeps learning. It keeps
At a rate far quicker than we do.
It doesn't stop until it's dead, and even when it's dead, it transfers intelligence. So you've literally created something that can't be destroyed ever.
Well, I mean, you could probably destroy its memory in some way.
I don't know, dude.
Like its bank of data.
I don't know.
I mean, it's just information, right? So it can always be destroyed in some regard.
But there's always going to be somebody who has that key to it.
I think we're just thinking movies here at this point.
I am, but dude, like, realistically, like, think about it. There's, like, you think, like...
I mean, for AI to exist, though, it has to exist in a storage device of some sort, right? And it has to be on a computer. It has to be on a computer.
So you'd have
Or
to
bottom
literally
line.
destroy every computer in the world.
Well, no, because AI can't just transfer computers like the movies. Like, information still has to be stored right now.
I don't know.
AI
dude.
cannot move
There's
into
gotta
another
be.
storage device.
I have a feeling it's out there.
Maybe. I doubt it.
I have a feeling it is.
Because just like if you think about how information works, I mean, okay, now there's the cloud. So like, there's now these. We sound so high. It is 8:25, guys. I promise you. Not that if it was 3 p.m. it'd be.
I was gonna say, yeah. What is 8 a.m.
But
yeah.
we're okay. I don't know. I mean, yeah, the cloud does exist where like information can be accessed and sent and stored. Like, I don't fucking even know how it works. I'm not gonna begin to try to explain it. But
It's also crazy that somebody controls that stuff. Like, just in general, like, it controls different pieces of, like, what we see and stuff like that on, like, Instagram and stuff, for, like, updates and stuff. Like, you don't think about that. That's where my mind goes, is when, like, an update comes out, somebody's been working, like, some tech team's been working on, like, making something better.
Yeah.
And then they send it out there, and then you basically download all of their information that they've just fixed into that.
yeah,
And, like, there's a team behind it. Like, you don't think about that. But then, the other day, I think I was, like, talking to you about it. Like, I'm on Be Real. How crazy would it be if there actually is a person behind the button that says when the Be Real notification comes out? Like, it's just Doug in finance. They're just, like, walking around the button all day.
I know.
And they're
He's
just
like,
nah. Go. Yeah, it's just like somebody's there, like, deciding when the Be Real goes out every single day.
See, I always know there's a face to the people who make updates because I usually get irritated with the updates and then I start blaming imaginary people.
You go and find
Like,
them.
what kind of fucking idiot at Facebook thought this was a good idea? I get a little angry with them, so I feel like I do have a face to
This
them.
guy's like a shitty used car salesman.
Yeah, dude, oh my god. The things that people running some of these platforms just blow my mind. And also for me, like, here's a big gripe in the world. TikTok, for example.
Mhm.
I'm gonna mention something really small. Actually, we're gonna start with YouTube. On YouTube, when you're creating end screens, or no, when you go to monetize and place ads, if you're uploading your video, and you go to place an ad, it won't load. It won't let you skip into the video for a little while. It just won't. That issue has been going on for probably 2 years. How the fuck has no one decided to fix that?
Yeah.
At a company like YouTube for 2 years. Like, they're aware of it.
Yeah.
TikTok. TikTok's had so many damn problems. But one of the little things I'll mention, when you go to select a cover photo, again, these are little things I'm just using for quick, easy examples. When you go to select a cover photo, wherever your finger stops on is where that used to be the start. Like, that used to be the thing that showed up on your page, and then it would go into that little boomerang, right? Well, now it doesn't do that. You scroll over, and like where you stop, it then like moves back a half second.
Yeah.
Like, I am not the one person in the world that knows this. There's no way. What is that? Oh no, we've been compromised. And I just, like, to me, it's like, how do these little software issues fall through the cracks on these bajillion-dollar companies?
I don't know. I also just don't understand anything in tech.
They're just gonna say anything.
Anything in
I don't
general.
understand
I don't understand anything.
anything.
Yeah, tech's one of those things that just like it's just so vast and scary.
I'm just an idiot, I think.
I think it's probably it too.
Like, I like to say I'm intelligent.
Artificially?
It's really loud out there. I like to say I'm artificially intelligent, but I'm just an idiot when I think of how smart people are.
True.
I can articulate my thoughts. I'm really good at being intelligent without any guidelines. Give me guidelines? Dumb. I think that's where I'm gonna end this podcast.